a very nice gear change there into third. I'm a little bit concerned about this gearbox, to be honest, but this is the RX8 in standard form on the Nordschleife. We're on our standard tyres and standard brakes and standard everything. It still smells of strawberries in here because the previous owner really liked strawberry air freshener. It's not took on the centre 2-stroke oil that I really want. A lot of people have been asking me, a lot of people have been asking me why I didn't crash there. No. A lot of people have been asking me why I didn't buy an E46 or an E36, and it's a good question because the E46 330Ci, I can buy one of those for about 2.5 as well, maybe 3 grand. Gets you a nice one, less than 80,000 miles, full service history, rear wheel drive, 3 litre straight 6. You know, when you say it like that, it sounds like it's going to be a lot better than some old rotary Mazda. The things the Mazda has in its favour: number one, it was designed as a sports car, not as a people carrier. The BMW 3 Series has got to cover a lot of ground, from the M3 to a station wagon with a 1.8 diesel in it. The RX8 was always designed as a sports car, and you can tell because when you look underneath you'll realise the RX8 has double wishbone suspension front and back. It's got a 50-50 weight balance thanks to the slightly rear of the front axle mounted engine. 6-speed gearbox, limited slip diff. It's very slippy here. I go quiet while I try to recover slides. Yeah, so the RX8 in my head at least, and I think on paper, makes a better sports car to start with. I think the question mark is definitely over the power plant, although so far, fingers crossed, this engine seems to be pretty good. Did a session on the GP track yesterday, had a little bit of a misfire at one point, and it cleared itself up after that. The misfire was actually on the 3rd or 4th corner of the first lap, so I suspect the car's never really been thrashed. Bit slippy that. I mean, 205 kilometres an hour there on the clock. I guess you'll have to look at the video VBox output to see what it really was, but I suspect 195. It's not bad for a standard car. Wet on the exit. Lovely. Yeah, as I hinted at yesterday, I'm not going to be looking at more power in this car. I mean, as we can tell, driving this lap right now, it's got enough power to do 200 kilometres an hour. I mean, how fast do you want to go? What I will definitely be looking at is getting weight out of here. We have an electric sunroof, electric seats, we have the full super duper red and black optional leather interior. I have a strong suspicion that we can get rid of a lot of weight out of this. It's so slippery in the dark bits. Let's give it some 9,000. When you're revving it, the acceleration is not bad. Although to be honest, we're only getting 150 k's there, and my MX-5 will happily do, the turbo would happily do 185 into that. Very slippery. The video VBox system's very good. I'm a big fan of it, and Race Logic have helped me a lot over the years, and I've hopefully helped them somehow. But I tell you what, there's one bit they're missing off their entire range. They have drift angle sensing, speed angle, you name it. There's an angle of a dangle that can be measured. What they don't have is how tight my sphincter is puckering sometimes when we hit these damp patches. They should attach. Whoa. Standard brake pads are just starting to make a noise. Well, I say standard, I have no idea if they're Mazda standard or if they're or if they're just cheap €20 brake pads that somebody bought off eBay. But they'll all get changed. I'm going to try some EBC yellows first. They've always been a good balance of cost versus performance. So EBC yellows, new brake discs maybe, some lines, some EBC Racing Dot 4. We are going to slow down so early for this. That is so slippery, it's ridiculous. And it's dry just here, so it's going to snap. Driving the Nürburgring in winter is always a balance. On the one hand, there's nobody else out here, you know, we're having beautiful relaxed laps with nobody else around. But on the other hand, my God, is it slippery. If you didn't know the track, if you're here on your first time and you pushed a little bit too hard, it will all end in tears so quickly. I've actually got a rent race car Scirocco Heap following us at the moment. We overtook him and then he just tagged onto the back. He's kind of just following our lines. He's got a little bit of a power advantage. I have no idea if he's a pro racing driver with loads of experience around here or if he's just another guy turning up trying to go fast on the first lap. I mean, the track's only been open 25 minutes, so best case scenario is he's on his third lap of the day. Beautiful balance, front to back. Really feel the car's weight transferring. Well, he's still behind us, and we flew into the carousel, so he wins. Come past me, I want to find out what you're doing. I suspect he's just using horsepower and ESP. Gearing is so long. I think I'm going to get more used to revving it. Yeah, wet in the middle, I expected it would be. Slow down a bit here because I suspect it'll be wet around the corner. It is. Lovely. See, Dave's managed to stay quiet all the way through to here until that moment just there, aiming for the dry patch in the middle of the wet bit. Dave, how are you feeling right now?
Oh, quite comfortable. I think you needed to hook another gear back there, but
I was kind of revving it up to 9,000 just using the power because the fourth gear is really tall.
no, I meant coming out of ice curve.
Oh.
We basically slowed to 10 mile an hour.
Yeah. Okay. Point taken. I agree. Every time you're going to build up a bit of speed, you see the wet bit on the horizon. There we go, a little bit of a slide. I mean, there's probably a lot to be said for fitting tyres that aren't called Kender Kaisers. I'd like to take this car in stages, you know, and add parts bit by bit. So the first thing I'd like to do is stick it on some 17-inch wheels with some high-performance street tyres, see what kind of lap time it'll make with that, and then stick it on semi-slicks and see for certain what kind of difference to the lap time a set of semis really makes. But for that to happen, we need some more predictable track time with dry roads and repeatable laps. And right now, all we can really tell you is how wet it is in some corners and how dry it is in others. Still, there you go. If you've got any questions about driving the RX8 or anything you want to know about this car, then just hit comment at the bottom of the page and leave me a comment. That's the last lap for me, 2011. Be lapping the Nürburgring again in 2012. See you later.